So now just going to start making the structural mushroom cake. So that will be a last lesson for this course, and obviously a structural cake is a must for any cake artist to just think you have stepped into the next level after completing most of the basics, and we have done quite a lot of advanced techniques as well, but this is just to take you guys to the next league, and we will start working on the structures. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how we are going to build the structure ourselves. That is a simple drilling machine, and it's not like too heavy, so we could handle it ourselves. And that's some spanner. The spanner here in this particular part, it is going to be used because we got to bend the wire. Now keeping the, this is the rod, bending the rod. Okay, so keeping the rod when that is a 0.4 centimeter or a 0.5 centimeter thickness of a threaded rod is this one. To keep this rod straight is a pretty straightforward thing to do. I mean, the same mushroom could be staying there, like you could make a cake with a stem being straight with a head on top of it. It could still be a mushroom cake, but I thought we have to also learn how to bend the rod, and that will come in handy for quite a lot of other cakes as well. Okay, so to bend this particular rod into this shape is why we need a spanner in this particular lesson. Okay, and then that's a board, and that should be about a 5-inch board, and that will be the base for carrying the cake. And here the mushroom's head is only going to be cake. The stem part is all going to be Rice Krispie treat. So it's like a mixture of a lot of techniques put together in this particular lesson. And so that board is there. I will have to drill a hole in the middle of this board again. So I'll have this rod passing through, and that will be a stable base for the cake to go on. And then I have here 4 washers, and these bushes go on all the 4 corners of this board. And because we're just going to have this rod pass through the center, we need the bushes. So the rod that has gone to the bottom, like it will go below this board, and then you want the board to be staying stable. So this will be the kind of legs that will go, and these are just the screws that will go along with the bushes, and we will just kind of drill it through using the drilling machine. And the 4 washers, and then the 4 nuts, and we have them, so we will be able to keep the rod in place along with the structure. So I'll be showing you how we're just going to use them. Let me just set these stuffs aside for now. And this is a battery operated drilling machine. Okay, and it could be recharged when I find it like quite handy. So the drill, the bit that is attached here is the one that will get the screw in to fix the bush. Okay, so if you have one like this, then you could just this is the drill bit. Okay, so I'm just going to add this in and then make it tight. I'm just going to place the bush and put the screw in. I hold it and just going to press this through and let the screw go in and then fix the bush in place. So now the bush doesn't move, and until then I will just get the screw go inside. Just want to shake and see if it just stays in place. just make sure all the 4 are quite tight. Just going to place it upside down, and you should not find it kind of shaking or wobbly. So now this is good for me to go, and then the next thing is I just need to start drilling the hole in the middle of this. Let me just get my drill bit changed. So I have this drill bit, but that is the biggest one that has just come along with it. But I'm just going to use it, and then for this particular thickness of the rod to go in, I'm just going to keep drilling to make the hole a little big. So then I will just check if the size is enough for this rod to go. So let me find the center. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep drilling, so the hole just keeps getting created in the wood, but obviously that is going to be some bit of hard work. So you can see the hole has come through on the other side, but then that is not enough for this rod to go in, right? It just needs to get a little broader. So I'm just going to keep moving the drill and try and make the hole a little bigger. Just make it a little bigger. Let me see. That is enough for the rod to pass through. The upper part is fine. I just need to drill in a little more. Let me check now. Okay, so now this one passes through. So the hole there has gotten big enough for this rod to go in. So now I'm just looking at shaping the rod itself, right? So I'm just going to use a spanner, but the back side of the spanner. Now this is going to stay there, right? I'm just looking at a shape that looks similar to this. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, so I want this to bend here first and then go on and then bend here. Now I'm just going to have the board somewhere around here and giving this much space for the cake to be fit in. So that will be the center rod for the cake as well. So I'm just going to put the spanner in, and where exactly I want it to be turned. Once I put the spanner, the back side of the spanner in, I'll just stop going down where exactly I want it to be bent. And when I'm just going to leave the spanner, it will just stay at an angle, okay, and it won't get closer to the rod anymore. At that stage, I just need to hold this rod and the spanner and then push it against. This will need some effort, but you can do that. Okay, so the first bend is done. Okay, and the next bend should happen on the opposite side. So this one should come all the way up there, for which I just need the spanner on the opposite side like that, and stop where you want the bend to be. Okay, and when you are going to tilt the spanner, close to the rod, it will not move any further. Now at that stage, you just need to hold the rod and the spanner and then bend. So this one has just gotten there. So we have like a 3 straight line. Now I just want it to be bent further. So I'm just going to place the spanner in this area. Step by step, I'm just going to keep bending. So I'll get down here as well. So that bend looks like it's a curve and not a straight cut. So you can see the difference, like this one is curved up and this one it is kind of straight. So now I'll just get down in there as well and then press. Get down in here, like below that bend that we made. Just press as much as you need. Okay, so let me just check if I like this shape. Now this will be my bottom. I want the mushroom head to come towards this side. So I want this part also to bend, and then maybe let me check if this will tilt towards the other side. So for me, this part should be bent, and so just put the spanner here. I think this should be good. So my mushroom head will be here. I just want it to be. So this part obviously has to be straight. I'm just seeing if I could just put the board in there. But the rest of the tilt with the body that we could do with the Rice Krispie. So that is the basic rod position I'd like. Okay, something like this. And my board would come in there. Then obviously the board is going to be a little slanted. Just also, you don't want that much slant for the board. I'll just lift it up a bit. So it's like keep it quite flexible to kind of change how you want to change the shape or the the angle in which you want to place the rod. And instead of just always having a straight rod, then we could just have it manipulated with just the help of the back of the spanner. We could just keep moving it. Okay, now with this position, at the back, I'm just going to fix it. Just need a spanner here and then a nut. And you don't want this to be like taller than the bush. Okay, then you're not going to have the stable board. Okay, and then get the nut and we just screw it in. Kind of making it so then I'm going to get the washer in. Again, I need to get the nut through the top. I'm just going to get this and the place where it is bent now. could be difficult in those cases like where the bend is there. It could get a little difficult to pass through. So in those places, just have a spanner. Just keep turning, and as it passes through that bent part, then after which it will just pass through quite easily. So now once it passes that bent part, and then it is just going to go through. Now just make sure that both the sides are tight enough. Just need to hold the bottom, just make sure it's not turning as well. Just see if it is moving, if it is sturdy. Now this part will move obviously, but here just see if it is moving, and then also check with your hands both the sides if they are quite loose, and if that is not, then we just have the structure done for this part. And I just want to make a hole here in the center. Again, the hole should be as big that this rod passes through. Because I don't have a bush, so I'm just going to hold it, then just drill it through. Just need it bigger. Obviously it's not enough, but I'm just going to check. Make it bigger. Let me check again. Okay, so this is passing through and we have the right size. We need again 2 washers and 2 nuts. I'm just going to pass the nut first. Send it all the way through until where you want the board to be placed. Send the washer in and send the board in, and then the washer goes, and then the next nut goes too. I'm just going to make it quite tight. So that will be the structure. So the cake will sit here, and now it's all like kind of muddy and it's all wood and stuffs. But now this needs to become edible safe. So I'm just going to clear this up and then get back in the next lesson where I'm going to show you how to make all these hardware stuffs edible safe. So we could just proceed with the cake.